Well, the season 3 finale of Snowfall shows us what Franklin Saint's life could have been if he wasn't the Franklin Saint. We're going to talk about all that and more. It's coming up on the After Show.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Season finale!
I am hyped this time.
Oh my God.
Last 2 episodes, we've been opening up like...
I don't know what just happened.
But
now I'm like, Franklin stole the show again.
We are excited about this episode. Oh my goodness. Like I said, it gave us a taste of what Franklin's life could have been if he just kind of was like just regular schmegular, you know what I mean, guy or whatever. So we're going to get into that. But what were you guys' overall thoughts of this episode?
Overall thoughts. I ain't gonna lie, in the beginning I was confused. Like, what is going on? What are y'all trying to tell me? How is this piecing together? Is he dead? Is he not? Is this a flashback? I don't know. But how they brought it together in the end and how Franklin bossed up and pretty much just told like Teddy what was up, what he wanted. It was just beautiful, and I'm excited for season 4. Yeah. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we were all confused in the beginning, but as we were trying to like just figure out, is this an alternate reality? Is he in a coma and he's dreaming? Is this what would have happened before he got into the drug game? I just thought it was extremely interesting to see, like, he's still super smart, but he's using his smarts in another way. He was scholastically smart, but like in the regular Snowfall, he's just like really business smart, like drug smart, you know? And then to see that, you know, he still had financial problems, but his financial problems were from school, and then like in his real life, you know, his mom just didn't make enough money. So I just love the way whoever wrote this episode and directed this episode did an amazing job. And like she said, at the end when it came together and it left us a little cliffhanger for next season. Wow.
Yeah, this episode was like super interesting. So we're going to get into all of that. We have our special segments of the Drug Lord. We have a top 3 dynamic duos we're going to talk about today. And a little something special for you guys at the end of the show. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Like we said, this is basically, so this title of the episode was called Other Lives. And first when it came on, I was like, what? But, you know, as it was going on, we kind of see what they meant with that. So it kind of starts off where you have Franklin on the floor from being shot. And then it goes into him being at school. And then we're all like, what is happening here? You know what I mean? But it's like he's in school and they're talking about a parallel universe, you know, and then he meets this one classmate and she's like, who are you in the parallel universe? You know what I mean? And he kind of says some things like, first of all, I wouldn't even be over here in America. Like my people wouldn't have been chained up and came over here. But, you know, he talked about like banks in Africa, like he would have his money, you know what I mean? Kind of something that was like still close to the Franklin that we know in present time, you know? So I thought that was like pretty cool, but it kind of went into like his life not really going the right way. So he's in school for a scholarship. Like we know he's like super smart, but then there was a mistake on the financial aid. Mistake. Just one extra zero. Because it came in saying that his mom made $100,000 or $110,000, and it really was just $11,000 for the year. And so, like, the financial aid got revoked, and possibly his scholarship is revoked. And the financial aid guy had no compassion for him. Just was like, well, if you can't hack it, maybe you shouldn't be here. What were you guys, how did you guys feel about like that whole scene when Franklin was like having the issues of the financial aid, possibly getting kicked out of school and everything?
I thought it was really unique, and it showed like, we all know that this show is based off of, you know, the real person, Freeway Rick Ross. And I thought it was cool how I think they were kind of trying to show why black people or black men or whatever result in this kind of lifestyle, dealing with that financial aid, you know, dealing with him acting like he couldn't, you know, help him get, you know, his funding and things like that. I think, the parallel universe kind of show how Franklin discovered what is going on, like how he's going to maneuver this issue at hand in real life, but it also just showed kind of like the lifestyle of what it was really like and why some people probably decided, you know what, I'm done with school. I'm going to go back into the drug. I mean, like, you know, after he left, Jerome was like, okay, well, you can start selling weed. So, you know, I think it was just showing both worlds of, I don't know, what could possibly happen and then what is the result of what could have possibly happened, if that makes sense. If I'm connecting it all together. So,
No, I follow what you're saying. Like, because it was like, with that, like, so like you said, like, it happens in real life, like, so many times, like, and it was just a mistake, and it was like he wasn't even really given the opportunity to try to fix the mistake, because he said, I can have my mom send in the W-2s, the correct one, so you guys will see this is not the amount of money that we make. I do qualify for this. You know, it'll take some time, it'll take a few days, but, you know, let me get that in here. And he's just like, no, you don't have the time. You know, like I said, he had no compassion for him, and just like how that happens a lot of times, you know, and sometimes some other people get a benefit of the doubt, and they have a little more of that leeway if they do run into a problem, you know what I mean? Or they have other sources that they can tap into, like, okay, well, I don't have it here, I can go elsewhere for it. And they were showing, like with Franklin, he didn't really have that. Like Jerome was like, ooh, I would like to try to help, but you know, in this universe, Auntie Louie is pregnant. You know, they have a baby on the way. You know, the weed game is bringing in some money, but it's definitely not like the coke game. Yeah. You know, what did you feel about that, Adaeze?
Just going off of what you said, you made some really good points, because I also just observed how obedient Black people had to be then in order to not make a mistake and say the wrong thing and get their whole lives torn apart. I mean, Franklin came in there very respectful, not like he had any reason to be disrespectful, but he was just a well-mannered, well-spoken man, sat there, talked out what his issue was, and said that he had a solution. And then, of course, the man made a smart aleck remark, almost trying to try Franklin. And Franklin, of course, you know, being who Franklin is, had a smart remark back. And that just reminded me of the time where him and his mother went into that office trying to strike a deal with the guy, like, let me buy this property off of you, we'll pay way above market. And then he said that same remark to him, and you remember how he acted then. He didn't jump over that table and rough him up. He actually left and figured it out. So that was a really cool connection that they did, you know, showing like almost that Franklin knew in his reality, knew how to act in that situation in order to play chess and not checkers. But back in his alternate reality, he wasn't aiming. He just reacted over his emotion. You see how that ruined his life. So that was just an interesting thing. Like you said, it just gives people a real view into what Black people have to go through in order to just be normal and live our lives the way we want. And then when we turn to alternative lifestyles, people don't look at, you know, the reasons why. So
man. So we have in this world, he also meets Teddy, but he meets him as Teddy this time. So Teddy is a professor representing, you know, his current job in the CIA, and he tries to recruit Franklin. And what I liked is, like, they kind of listed everything about him, which I think, like, also plays into, like, present time now. Like, I think it was I think these attributes of his were real. Like, he had a 3.9 GPA, 1540 on the SATs, and they mentioned, like, he had really good critical thinking skills, and like that plays a part of, like, we know, like, how, like you said, like how street smart and how business smart, like, Franklin is. So, like, I thought that was kind of cool. But then it shows, like, sometimes there's that little slither of hope, and other people can have an opportunity that comes to them, because that was a moment of, like, well, if Franklin did want to go that way, here's, you know, some help. But everybody doesn't have that second chance. It doesn't always come. But what did you guys think about, like, how, like, let's think about, like, if Franklin was in the CIA, like, what are y'all thoughts on that? Because we didn't really talk about, like, if he actually would have, like, if this was real and he went to the CIA.
It's just, now that we know what the CIA is, we know the CIA of what their job description is, but now that we know what the CIA was actually doing, it just shows another alternate path that he would have been right back where he was, selling drugs and funding the war. It was just, now he'll be doing it the white collar way. He'll be Franklin Saint, CIA agent. You know, he'd probably have to detach himself from his family, you know, so he wouldn't be working with Jerome and Auntie Louie. He'd be working with Teddy McDonald and whomever. So that was really interesting, and I love the comment that he made, that he was able to float between worlds, because, like, for example, like, you know, you hear all the time that FBI agents and CIA agents, they go and they, instead of arresting hackers and sending them to jail for life, they recruit them, because even though you have a rough past, your smarts and your intelligence, they could use that, you know? So it's like getting good people, giving them a second chance, but giving them a second chance to do what? Not to still do wrong.
To still do wrong.
So then, go ahead. Then it kind of goes just back into, like, I don't know, like, just how we were saying how, you know, Black people don't get a chance and they have to go to these alternative routes and do bad things. It's like, to me, it's kind of like a trapped mentality. Like, regardless, you're gonna still end up doing wrong because you just have to deal the cards, or what's the term that's given to you?
Yeah. So to play the card you were dealt.
Yeah. It's like running a maze almost. Like you make different paths, but you still end up either lost or going to the same exact
just
ending.
a different route of how it is. So I feel like that's kind of what brought his confidence into later on. Like, well, shoot, in my alternative life, parallel, whatever, I still would have been doing it just the legal route.
Right.
So shoot, I'm finna boss up and do my thing now.
Go ahead and incorporate him in it now. Yeah, because that's what I was like. He would be like in this world working for the government, but this time knowingly. Like, you know, because basically he's working for him now, but like in that world, it was like he would knowingly be working for them and a part of like everything that they're doing, which I thought like was super crazy. But,
which also puts in perspective, why is it what he's doing now wrong? Like, you know, like, so if he took this route, is it okay? It's okay now because he has people behind him, but now why is it what regular drug people, you know, drug dealers do wrong?
It's because where's the money going to? This money is going to the government, so this is some type of white collar like justification, like it's funding the war. Yeah. Even though you're still killing the same people with the same product, the money's just going to one cause, and then or the other way, the hood way, it's going into the black pockets, and the government's not having that, so it's wrong either way.
It shows how effed up.
You know, now my eyes are open.
Like, for real. Like, this was like... Right? Because I'm like, this is crazy. And here it is. And it's also like, because Teddy was like, you know, oh, you had the issue with school. That's taken care of.
Right.
Like you can get back into school all for, you know what I mean, to still get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
But just... you're
a glorified drug dealer.
Same comments Reed Thompson was making, and same comments Teddy was making to other people. Like, all that problems, don't worry, he's taken care of. It's just so interesting. Like, they can, things that are wrong, because you're in the CIA, you can just erase it. It's like it never happened in order to fund their agenda. Ugh. Can y'all erase my student loans? Because I'm still paying for them. I'm a good person.
No,
like, for real. That's like real life. That's super real. But yeah, so then we have another scene, like, because we're in Franklin's regular world. I just like to call it regular because, you know, he is that dude in his current universe. But so in that, he's working in the convenience store. And then he gets robbed. Wow. Adaeze had a lot of insight on this because I didn't even recognize the guy that robbed him.
I
was like, he scarred me those seasons when he raped old boy and just like belittled him. And even in this episode where he's like, say I'm your, you know, like, his character made my skin crawl. So of course I remembered who he was. And I don't know, it was just crazy.
Yeah, but I thought it was crazy. So in this scene, he's getting robbed. The guy's like, say you're my whatever, and he's about to shoot Franklin, and here comes Andre to save Franklin's life. God. Isn't that kind of crazy? Like, in this world, he saved Franklin's life, but Franklin has taken his life.
Yeah, this is the true definition of alternate reality.
Yes.
You know, but still, Franklin and Andre still had a good relationship until this. So I believe Andre would have done the same thing for Franklin before the whole drug thing, you know? But that was just so crazy that Tyra made that connection because it's been so long, I did not even see his face in the same way. But like, he was the one person, I mean, he's always been doing bad. So he did bad in alternate reality, he did bad in real reality. Oh my gosh. And Franklin was so scared.
He was.
And Franklin's not scared.
He's
in his real life.
I've never seen him
bossy,
like that.
He doesn't shiver. He'll never say he's anybody's B word.
Even in the first season when he was like at Avi's. And like that, like he showed like he's like,
right, when he pointed the
I'm
gun,
tough,
he was like,
I can stand, I can
shoot
take
me.
this. Yeah.
Wow. That was a really hard scene for me to watch. Yeah.
Man, but I brought up that scene because the guy was saying so much, like, say you're my BITCH, say you're this, say you're that. And that's when Franklin started coming back. And I feel like it was like, I'm nobody's, you know? You
so that's how you connect.
For me, that's what I felt.
To this, what we saw later when he woke up.
When he woke up. Because it was like, then, you know, you have like all this monologue that you start to hear from like Franklin's mom, and there was like a different voice. It didn't really sound like her. I don't know what was going on there, but you know, just all this basically like you've been through a lot and you have to fight. You can't give up now. And even Franklin's kind of his own voice, like I'm to do this for my people. You can't give up now. I'm nobody's bitch.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna finish what I started.
Oh, yes.
So, boom, here we are.
I like that revelation.
I just want to watch it again. Like,
I definitely have to watch it
I gotta
again.
watch it again.
It is one of those where I think I need to watch it because I'm still trying to collect what happened and talk about this right now.
I also want to watch the first episode of the first season and then watch this episode as well, because there were some things that were still, even though we were in a parallel universe, some things that were still true to life, to Franklin's life, like because he wasn't in school and things like that. So I want to see how much it ties in. But I feel like that's basically why he kind of, we that was a transition to bring him back. Yeah. So now we know that he survived those gunshots and he's trying to, you know what I mean, like get better. It looks like he's like in rehab or something like that. And his dad is there helping him, which I love that too, because you show like, he wasn't there, but now, and he literally had his back.
Yeah.
I'm such a girl. I'm
wow.
It's
just so much.
No, I was emotional too.
Yeah. It's just so much with this whole, like, I really want to know what the writers were getting at with this parallel universe, because like how we just broke it down, like in a way it kind of shows the real struggles of what Black people go to. It's like either way you're still trapped in this kind of lifestyle, regardless if you go legit or if you go bad. And then in a way it was also kind of like this is building Franklin up to be this bossed up version of him. So y'all let us know what y'all trying to tell us. Are we on track with what you guys were doing? Let us know.
With that point, like, what were the writers trying to get at? Now that I'm looking at it, it's almost like, like throughout the season we were asking, maybe I was asking myself, like, why doesn't he just get out? He has millions of dollars. He could stop at any time. He could flee the country. And then you see this alternate reality, and it's like, there's a reason why he's not going to get out, because now that he has all this knowledge of what the government is doing, he's seeing himself as an equal. Like, if they can profit off of it, I'm going to profit off of it too. I know he knows, because he's a smart man, that what he's doing is wrong and the damage he's done, but he's probably seeing it as like, this damage is going to be done. So I might as well profit from it. Right? So like that reality just kind of gives you your answer. There's a reason why he's not just going to get out of it, because he could have ended up in it through the CIA or without him, and it would have still been going.
Then under the CIA, that way he would have still been.
He still would have been same thing. And his name would have been...
Why am I so excited about how this is coming together? Because I was low-key really confused. I'm not going to lie. I started this episode
now
confused.
That we're talking it out, it's like coming together.
Everything is coming together. And so, like, we're going to get to, like, Teddy and Franklin's meeting. But then everything is just gone to shit. Like... It's kind of crazy. It's super crazy. So there's like all these gang wars going on. You see like Man Boy riding down the street. I'm like, is this a clip from The Purge? Like he's hanging out the car. Like right. I was like, what's happening here?
It's just, I love how, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but it's just kind of just like going back. I mean, I don't know much about, LA gang history. So in the comments, be gentle because y'all be going in.
Oh no, they do that.
They be going in, but I'm thinking back, I do, but like gang wars were real. So I love how they're still adding this historic aspect to it. And I lost my train of thought. But I feel like it's just all
it was really real because the news clip was real. That was a real clip from that time. So like that's showing like how those gang wars, like it was a real thing, and it showed like how Franklin's role in everything and his importance. You know what I mean, and how he kind of was handling everything. And since when T was down, like everything was down, you know what I mean, there was nobody to really keep order around.
Think about, that's a really good point. Like Franklin really is the keystone of his community, because even though he's doing bad, none of this was happening while he was still running the streets. And that tied to the point he tried to make with Teddy at the end. He was just saying like, I already did the damage. I can't stop now. I just got to keep going.
But now I just have to piece it back together.
Can you? And he was telling his mom, I can't get out now. Like, look what's happening. You know, like I have to do bad in order to restore the good. It's just such a mind
crazy, but like it's real, and he has to kind of fix it because, like we said, everything is going to hell, and the family is even fighting. You had Louis and Jerome like arguing with Franklin's mom.
Leon was like,
he was like, this ain't got nothing to do with me. But yo, Franklin's mom though,
bossed up.
That mama bear came out of her.
This my mother son. I was like, okay, where this been at this whole time?
Right,
not really though.
That was because her baby was hurt.
Yeah,
her baby was my baby.
Hurt. Oh my God.
And remember, Jerome, it was crazy how Jerome was acting, because Jerome almost lost his life too.
He did, in the midst of all of that.
But the thing is, the difference is, no, it's no difference, because he was trying to back out of this. Remember, he was like, I want to focus on mine. So now to be so, I think it's because he was being a little insensitive, but to see what the community has gone through while
Franklin
was
down.
gone. He understands like this can't stop now. You're in the drug world for real.
Yeah.
For real.
Like he said to Franklin's mom, what's her name?
Sissy.
Sissy. They need Franklin back. Like he has to fix this. And even to her, like, you're in the drug game now.
Yeah.
Because you know everything that's going on. This is your son. Like, you're in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
we can't just, you know what I mean? Wash our hands with it and be done.
And see, but that's kind of Sissy's fault too, because she's been playing the fence this whole time. I want to support my son, blah blah blah, and now that he's gotten shot, it's kind of just like, no, we need to pull him out. But I'm glad Jerome did set her straight. Like, you're in this just as much as Franklin is in it, and just as much as I'm in it.
Yep.
You've played a part in this whole gang riot that's going on, and we have to bring it back together. So I love how Franklin did end up coming back and just like, you know what, we just gonna have to do what we got to do, because I think she's just missing the overall picture, and it's just like, sis, it's too late. We in too deep now.
She's in for herself.
I
like,
think
just
she
wants to
realized
protect
though, because she did say he'll come back when he's ready, and she was telling him you're not healed. So she was just like, get better, be yourself. Then we think about it. But they were like, no, now.
Yeah, but no, she also wanted to leave. Like when they were in the house,
Like,
she was
we
like,
can
"Why
go.
can't we
just
go?
go."
Yeah.
Like we've got the
she's
money.
not built for this life. She doesn't understand. That's what he's trying to tell her. You are in this. You don't just clock out like it's a 9 to 5.
So I think that when he's better was just a cover of like, give us more time and we about to be out.
Right.
But you know, but they were just, like I said, they can't just wash their hands with this. You know what I mean? Like, they started this, they have to fix it and finish it. And so that leads us to Franklin meeting up with Teddy, bossing up.
Yes.
Like that whole it
analogy,
was just beautiful.
the analogy, everything.
So beautiful. And he always has something good. Like,
Something
Franklin
good.
is so smart.
Because you know what, my favorite part of it was when he walked up and Teddy's like, well, you look a mess, basically.
No. He
And
said, you were a sight for sore eyes, which means like he's so glad to see him. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, because he's been he's the resource too. So Franklin being down has made everything fall apart. Teddy has been affected by this also.
Yeah.
So, but to get to that, okay, so phrase that wrong. But so what I was going to say was that him saying what doesn't kill you makes you sharper, not stronger. We always hear what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. In a sense, maybe it's the same, but like Franklin was saying, sharper. So you know now, you know what went wrong, you know how to fix it. You know what I mean? Like you always, well, for me, like I just being like in church heavy, like when people would do sermons about like you've been through a struggle before and you feel like you're going through this same struggle, but it's not the same because you've been there before. So now you know how to do it differently.
Yeah.
Amen.
So we're going to Franklin. We're going to Franklin knowing how to move differently now.
Yeah.
Knowing how to use all the information that he has. He doesn't need to hold it. He can boss up. Like he said, he's not afraid to die anymore. He's not afraid of jail anymore because he's been there. You know what I mean? It wasn't for a long time, but he was there. He got jumped. Like, it was not easy for him.
Yeah.
So he did that already too. So if I have to go back and do these things again, I will, because once again, I already know how to do them. So it's nothing you can hold over me. So now we're going to do this, and we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it my way. And like you guys said, like the analogy he used, talked about LA, the LA floods. They realized like they're having an issue. They brought in the government to help them out.
Right.
And then he was like, so I'm going to bring in the government. So whoever's having a problem, whoever poses a threat, I'll give them up. You know, and you'll take care of them, whoever you are.
I just loved how he just sprinkled on in there. I know that you with the CIA. Regardless, you know, I know that you need
know who
me.
you are.
Like you can't I can't be your slave because I know you now. And we've been watching this build up of him just figuring out who he was, and Andre, finding that evidence and stuff, and they're just being scared that the government would shut him down. So I just loved seeing how he just flipped the script, like how this just made him so strong to be like, you know what, boom, I done been through hell and back, but I know you, and I'm not scared anymore. Right. I'm just going to sprinkle in there that I know who you are, and I'm going to use who you are to my advantage because you still need me. And I'll make you a bomb CIA agent if we just work together.
Right.
And like, you protect me.
Right? Yeah, this whole season we were trying to figure out how is he going to use this information. Like, is he just going to be like, I know who you are, Reed Thompson? But everything that's happened to Franklin allowed him to have like this rollout moment. I mean, between just becoming Franklin Saint, going to jail, seeing Jerome shot, him now being shot, almost losing his life. It's literally that prepared him for this moment to completely be fearless, and also to see that Reed took him out of jail. So like you said, you definitely need me, and there's not a thing that Reed or Teddy could have done when he I guess, expose him, say, like, you're a CIA
Like,
agent.
I know who you are.
So every single thing that happened to Franklin these past 3 seasons has, like, prepared him for this moment. And that means next season is going to be absolutely crazy because now they're not working in the dark anymore. So, like, you know how it's so interesting how they do the 2 worlds, rather. Like, Teddy's world, it's all dark, and he's in some place. He's in Mexico. He's in some cellar. And then you have present day LA, and it's, like, brighter. I wonder if next season's going to be, like, one shade of, like, regular color TV, and like they're working together, and like the lives are not, you know what I mean? Or it's not 2 stories trying to come together. It's one story.
Or when they're when they're going to these different countries, getting the product and stuff. Like, will Franklin be his right hand man? Like, how is all of that going to play out?
How much are they
with
gonna?
Avi.
Right.
So we saw him that he is capable of traveling internationally. You know, you know what? Franklin has to hold down his LA street, so he probably won't be traveling too much. But we just know, like, if he has to run to Colombia real quick with Teddy, he gonna run to Colombia real quick with Teddy.
And it's like he doesn't.
I'm sorry, but you did give a valid point when we were watching. You were just like, they didn't shake on it though. So
yeah, true.
Yes, we have these feelings that it's gonna, you know, this is how we think it's gonna pan out, but they can take a whole different turn on us, and Teddy be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a CIA agent. And then we just like, what the hell?
But I think he knows that Jake is up, and he is shook. Like, Franklin, without calling him Teddy McDonald, calls him Teddy McDonald. That means his whole cover is blown. He mentioned the war so casually. He was like, and I could just help you fund this war. He probably think, like, how the hell did he know about this war?
Right.
How the hell did he know any of this? So that shake, I mean, I wouldn't have shook either. I would be like, oh shit, hold on, let me get my shit together.
I think it's gonna work. But it does. It still at least leaves us with that question. Though. They have to have some type of question, because I know like we said, these past 2 episodes, they were so full of like those shock moments, like, oh my god. And we were like, these seem like finale shows, like, why is it going like this? But then it's like we realized, like, this isn't all about the oohs and ahs, it's about storytelling. Like, this was great storytelling,
great
this episode, right?
It was.
So it was like, we'll leave you with questions, we'll have you wondering, we'll have you thinking about what's going to happen next season.
What are you
Instead
getting
of just
from this
like,
character
are we gonna
universe?
see Mel in jail? Mel, are you in jail?
Yeah, where is Mel?
Because Mel, you should have popped up in this episode because we got beef. Like,
a lot of beef.
I hope that girl come back and jump you. That's
Did
what
she
she do.
did she like just dip out? It was a
that's
blackout.
one thing
Like,
that I
she
didn't
able to
like.
escape?
I love how they did this whole universe thing or dream, whatever we want to call it. But I still wanted them to piece a little bit what happened. Like, you know, after the shooting, who came in and found him?
You saw that though.
I
Remember that like dark room? You saw Sissy over his body, so it looked like still like as he was waking up. It was like real quick too. Like you see
when he was getting out the water.
After that, like you see this, like looked like a locker room. I don't know what type of dark room that was, but she was over his body real quick, so it looked like they found him. And you know what I mean? But they didn't tell you like what happened to Mel. Where's Mel at right now?
We need to know where Mel is.
She briefly touched on, like, you know, I saw him on that table. He was dead for 3 minutes and then he came back. So we saw that, but I just wanted to see everybody at the scene. I wanted to see them at the
like being in shock, like,
you know,
oh my
at
god.
the next
season
door.
4 could open into that, like
Yeah.
showing him being
could.
rushed into the hospital and showing them trying to keep his life together and showing Mel like freaking
Showing how
out.
everything went crazy.
Oh my god!
Like,
So
good.
maybe that's what that is, and what they wanted us to get out of this episode was just like how Franklin has just evolved, because all season we've been talking about how Franklin has just been growing and growing and growing. So maybe this episode was just for us to see how he is going to piece together all of these little things that he's been investigating. So now that it's come together, it's like, okay, boom, this is what we're going to expect from Franklin next season, and now we can show you guys what really went down.
Yeah.
And we need to see if he's gonna end up paying this police officer who has him on, or Teddy's just gonna get rid of him for
right,
him.
because now
He has CIA in his pocket. So excuse me, Mr. Little Beat Cop officer,
we can get rid of you.
You gonna be paying me, or else we gonna and you're gonna be gone.
Take care of it.
Y'all, first of all, the chat is live. Okay.
What are they saying?
Everybody confused. Was it an alternate universe? Was it a dream? We talking about Sally Mae. Listen, we all going through the City Lows.
Listen.
Sharper. No, Franklin's mom's been a gangster. I don't know Edward Lee Jr. I don't know if she's been a gangster.
I don't know if she been a strong woman.
Yeah.
But a G.
We're happy Jerome ain't dead too. We was a little shook about
nervous about that.
Yeah, people saying they got to go back and watch it too. We're all just confused.
Yeah.
We're all confused together.
Definitely a second watch, because we were thinking, like, I was thinking that, like, maybe this was Franklin's life before he got into the drugs, but when they brought Teddy in, it was like, okay, no, this has to be alternate because he didn't know Teddy at all. And then also with Louis being pregnant, there is no baby now. You know what I mean? So this wasn't a before. It has to be, you know, Franklin was like in a dream, in a coma. Like I said, I'm going to put him in a coma. He was in a coma. They didn't say he was, but I put him in one. So I think this is everything that's going on.
His heart stopped.
Yeah. I honestly just truly believe they were just showing what black men go through. And regardless, it's like we always kind of just get stuck into this lifestyle, regardless if we were going to go legit with it or if we were going to go the other way.
Yeah.
So, well, that kind of wraps up this episode. So, like, I think we all are going to watch this again. Excited for season 4. But for our finale,
really quick, as Edward was saying that Jerome ain't dead, he said his birthday is 9/23, by the way. Happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Turn up for Franklin and them.
It's Franklin's birthday too, September 1st. So happy birthday, Dan.
Yes, we gave him
a
shout out last week for his birthday, Virgo season. But yeah, so let's get into our special segment with our drug lord special segment.
Special segment. Okay.
We can't have the finale without having this.
We can't have the finale. So today, our drug lord is William Leonard Pickard, aka the Acid King. So William is this famous chemist who actually created or took part in creating acid. And he was one of the biggest producers of the drug. He manufactured massive amounts of the drug in a secret super lab located at a shut down nuclear missile silo near Wamego, Kansas. So he was pretty much like legit in the kitchen whipping up the drugs, like creating this drug called acid. In 2000, he was ratted out by another chemist. So, okay, it was like he had a team. It was like a team of chemists who all like worked together in this lab, and they were putting this drug together, and they created it, and they all were like, doing their thing. And in 2000, he was ratted out by another chemist, and he was arrested outside of his secret lab when he was like driving a truck full of his lab equipment. In 2003, he was sentenced to 2 life sentences in a maximum security prison in Arizona with no parole.
Not 2.
Yeah, 2 is crazy. So what's just interesting about this particular drug lord is he came from a good family background. His parents were like, it was a professor, it was a lawyer, he was an honor student, basketball. He had a scholarship to Princeton, but he dropped out after his first term, but he still kind of took this path to the drugs. And we talked about that about other drug lords, but for him, it was just interesting to me because he actually like studied the drug. Like he was into it. He created it. Like, he came from he came from a glorified normal lifestyle, but he used it. His smarts embraced that lifestyle in a good way to create a drug, but it ended up backfiring. I don't know. Yeah.
Crazy.
So anyway, before he was arrested in 2003, he was arrested in 1997 and sentenced to 18 months in prison after being caught creating ecstasy in his basement. So he's just like this known drug dealer.
Wow.
Like he's on some Breaking Bad kind of stuff. And then in 1988, he was also caught again. This time he was making the acid again, and he was sentenced to 8 years in prison, but he was released in 1992. And after this arrest, that's when he went to Harvard and he actually studied drug abuse in the Soviet Union. So not only was he creating these drugs, he was studying like how drugs affect you and how like the abuse is, and he kind of just like, it's like he was genius in a way of knowing how to create a drug that, I don't know, wouldn't kill you or
make you more addictive. Is he trying to get people more addicted?
Yeah.
He's making money.
He was just he was very cool. I think it was
crazy.
I think it was cool. I think it was
we
smart.
are not glorifying.
Right. We're not glorifying it, but I thought it was really cool.
Our disclaimer: we are not glorifying drug lords or drug dealers.
So after he studied all of this at Harvard, he actually became a drug researcher, and he was appointed a research associate in neurobiology at Harvard Med School. So it's kind of like he finessed. Like he went to jail and for creating this drug. He then ended up going to school after prison to learn more about the drug, and he used all that as a finesse to create more drugs and sell it to the community. I don't know. I'm
not trying to be that person, but that got privilege written all over it. The fact that you have conviction and you get to go.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So anyway, he's still alive. He is in Arizona in prison, and it's crazy because he has like fans. Like as I was looking him up, people like glorify him. They're just like, this man was really like, what did he do wrong? They think that the acid drug is not a bad drug, and he was really smart in what he did. So I don't know. I guess as you can see, I was really interested in this guy. William was a chemist who created acid, and he was great. William.
I'm not gonna hate on you. You did your thing. I'm not gonna hate on that. So we're gonna add a special segment. So at the top of the season, we had like a top 3 that we did. So we're gonna do another top 3 dynamic duos, just in honor of like Franklin and Leon, because we love them two working together. So we have a top 3 of our dynamic duos. So I'll hit it off. Mine, because we're just doing like just period in life, movies, whatever. So I got Martin Lawrence and Will Smith in Bad Boys 1, 2, and 3 that's about to come out. Because their chemistry, amazing. The fact that they can do a 3 in 2019 when the first one was made like 97, I think. 98.
Yeah, back in the day. Well, not back in the day.
And it still works. Like everybody's excited. So that's that.
My dynamic duo is Jay-Z and Beyonce. They're literally out here building an empire. I mean, Jay-Z is now with the NFL. Beyonce is doing her thing for the culture, Coachella, endless things that they have done for the community to represent us Black people in a positive light. So I think they're an amazing duo. On the Run tour, lit. Everything about them is just lit.
And of course, I have to acknowledge I think the pinnacle of life, our biggest dynamic duo in life, Barack and Michelle. Our first Black president, our first Black lady. And just to acknowledge that in the 8 years that Barack was president, he had almost a pretty much blemish-free track record. Yep. I mean, he was an upstanding gentleman, an outstanding president. Of course, he had his faults like any other human being, but he really represented himself and his family, and he's going to go down in history not only for being the first Black president, but just being an accomplished man with a beautiful family. And Michelle, again, just the paramount of beauty and womanhood and just amazingness. So that is our dynamic duos, our favorite dynamic duo. Shout out to Franklin and Leon, because this is that was what kicked this topic off. And
so before we get out of here, to close this out, the writers and the creators and everyone kind of did like a little special tribute to John Singleton in this episode. So I don't know if you guys caught it or not, so I have a few pictures to show you guys just in case if you didn't catch that. And it was kind of funny when I did the red carpet for this season, one of the directors kind of said that, like, oh, little trinkets. So I've been watching all season, like, I didn't see anything. What is he talking about? But everything was in this episode. I believe, I'm not sure if I'm correct or not, but I believe the campus was USC. And that's where John went. We also, if we could try to pull this picture up, we also had his son. So when Franklin, the little boy, when he was walking through the hood, picks up a little ball or toy, gives it to a little boy, that's John Singleton's son. Aww. So cute. So we had like a picture of like Leon and Damson holding him. Isn't that so precious? Yeah. And then we have this young guy who was also just like that same scene, walking around filming everybody, and I was like, he's looking like John. He had on a hat, he had on the glasses, and then he had on the exact hat that John has worn before. Right there, I think it says South Central Cinema on it, that exact hat. And that shirt almost kind of looks like the shirt. Like, you know what I mean? So it was like, that was definitely like a picture of cool. Yeah, to kind of recognize John. He always had on a hat and always had on glasses and had that camera around him. So just showing those just pictures.
That film nerd that they tried to call him. But, just around the hood trying to capture his city.
Kind of capture it. And then he, like the picture that kind of just was up when he was like leaning on the stop sign, he had a picture of Malcolm X. And the guy in the show had a shirt on that said by any means necessary. So kind of in the same way, like, John was always about telling our stories, putting our messages out there by any means necessary. If it's by art, however I have to do it, beautiful. It's going to be done. Rest in peace, John Singleton. Man.
Wow.
Well, he created something great. I cannot wait for season 4.
I can't wait either.
It is going to be so exciting.
Yeah, and hopefully see us back here again.
You guys will see us all back here. Portia was out this week, but she will be back for season 4 as well.
She will.
We all said we're going to watch this season again, or this episode again. So leave your comments, guys. We'll be there to talk about it. It's not over. We'll be in the comments, okay? So until next season, you guys can catch me on Instagram and on Twitter at ElMarieTV.
And you guys can find me on all social media platforms at _Tyra Prude.
And find me on Instagram at Adaeze. That's one Adaeze. That's 188 Easy E. Let me act like I work here. All right.
Bye, y'all.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.